may I now invite our special guest, Shri Anil Xavier, President, Indian Institute of Arbitration and Mediation, also a member at Independent Standards Commission and Ethics Committee, International Mediation Institute, Netherlands, Chairperson, Accreditation Committee, Asian Mediation Association, Hong Kong, Senior Fellow at Hamline University, School of Law, USA. Along with these positions, Sir has held multiple other prestigious positions at many national and international forums. So, may I kindly request Sir to please take the virtual podium and enrich us with his talk on online mediation opportunities and challenges. Over to you, Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Malavigya. And respected Chair, Justice Kodishwar Singh, the co-speakers, Justice Sanjay Dwivedi, Justice Puneet Gupta, Dr. Sarabjit, Dr. Ranjit Mehta. So it's a great and of course the dear friends and participants in the conference. When we talk about online dispute resolution, it has become a very important mechanism as it represents significant opportunities for access to dispute resolution, especially by buyers and sellers concluding cross-border commercial transactions. It can be B2B disputes or it can be B2C disputes. See, the rise and importance of online dispute resolution is evidenced by the recent discussions in relation to ODR that has happened at the UNCITRAL, at the ISO, and at the APEC. There were very recent meetings that had happened. In fact, Working Group 2 of UNCITRAL, which deals with online dispute resolution, had recently conducted a colloquium that is from 28 March 2022 to 1st of April 2022. In fact, I had the privilege to participate in the UN colloquium as a observer member of the Working Group 2 in my capacity as the chairman of the Asia Pacific Center for Arbitration Mediation. In fact, the colloquium had representation from 73 countries and 57 international organizations. Based on the resolution made by the General Assembly of the UNCITRAL adopting the technical notes on online dispute resolutions, we had discussed in the colloquium the scope, options, and issues relating to dispute resolution in digital economy. In fact, the ODR has shifted to a next stage of dispute resolution in digital economy. In short, it is called the DRDE. And DRDE has become the latest trend in dispute resolution, especially in online mode. In fact, online mediation, when we talk about online mediation or online dispute resolution, it should not be confused with virtual mediation done with the help of online conferencing platforms like Zoom. ODR requires a technology-based intermediary. In other words, unlike an offline ADR, an ODR proceedings cannot be conducted on an ad hoc basis involving only the parties to the dispute and the neutral in a virtual platform. Instead, to permit the use of technology to enable dispute resolution process, an ODR process requires a system for generating, for sending, for receiving, for storing, for exchanging or otherwise processing communications in a manner that ensures digital or data security. Such a system is referred to as an ODR platform. So any mediation that happens over a ODR platform like a Zoom cannot be considered as an online mediation. It's only an ADR mediation or a offline mediation happening in an online platform. So increased digitalization, use of technology, expedited procedures, use of artificial intelligence, and other innovative measures will definitely change how disputes will be resolved in future. In fact, the government of Japan had submitted a report on the developments of dispute resolution in digital economy in the recent colloquium that happened in the UN. Online dispute resolution, as already Dr. Ranjit has said, has got obvious benefits like speed or efficiency. This would be particularly useful for disputes arising out of cross-border e-commerce transactions, where traditional judicial mechanism for legal recourse may not offer adequate solution. With respect to use of technology in international mediation, it was reported, because there was a study conducted by many international organizations during the COVID period, And it was reported that online mediation resulted in a higher settlement rate than conducted offline. Benefits of mediation was also highlighted with respect to disputes with respect to MSMEs. But there is also a need to understand the dangers and to set right the issues faced in online system. It was pointed out that efforts could be made to address problems that arise mostly due to technical difficulties and environmental distractions. It is desirable that ODR proceedings be subject to the same confidentiality and due process standards that apply to dispute resolution proceedings in an offline context, in particular to the independence, neutrality, and impartiality. In fact, during the colloquium, ultimately we came to a conclusion that it was stressed that preserving procedural fairness was key in online mediation, which would be to ensure equal treatment of the parties, taking into account any imbalance in technological competency, maintaining the neutrality of the mediator so as to build trust, provide a consistent and predictable proceedings, and imposing proper ethical standards. In that context, reference was also made to the standards and guidelines of the International Council for Online Dispute Resolution, that is the ICODR, and also specifications and standards maintained in the Seoul Protocol on video conferencing in international arbitration, because the Seoul Protocol had brought out all the ethical requirements for international arbitration in online mode, and also the UK Jurisdiction Task Force Digital Dispute Resolution Rules, which was made for on-chain digital relationships such as smart contracts. So all these guidelines given by these international instruments had to be made applicable for online mediation to be made more effective. Access to appropriate and adequate technology for ODR has become a vital element to ensure equal access of justice to all. As such, I think there is a need to explore the development of an international legal instrument that could facilitate access to justice through ODR, not only to set out the minimum core standards that will apply to ODR proceedings, but also to prescribe appropriate standards for ODR providers and also to ODR platforms. As far as I can tell you, the Asia Pacific Center for Arbitration Mediation is going to implement a common standard for dispute resolution in digital economy in 10 countries. That is, the process of mediation, the standards of the digital platforms that will be used for mediation, the digital safety that will be followed, the technology and the artificial intelligence that could be made up, all these will be stabilized and it will be a common system that will be implemented in 10 countries. So considering the time frame that is given, I think I'll stop here. And thank you for inviting me for the mediation conference. I would like to place my gratitude to the Delhi University and also to the MCPC. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful words of learning, sir. Indeed, a beautiful juxtaposition was made of online mediation with the International Council. It was indeed very, very learning I'm sure a note of learning for all of us.